You ever felt like winning something didn't mean freedom, but a new kind of prison? That's exactly what Katniss Everdeen realizes after surviving the Hunger Games. You'd think being a victor would mean safety, maybe even a chance at peace. But no. In Catching Fire, things get darker, deeper, and way more dangerous. The Capitol isn't done with her yet. Not even close. And the scariest part? It's not just about survival anymore. It's about rebellion. Now here's what's fascinating. Katniss didn't mean to become a symbol. She just wanted to protect her sister. She played the game, bent the rules, and outsmarted the Capitol by threatening to die with Peeta using poisonous berries. That moment? It was supposed to be a clever trick. But to the people of Panem, it became something more. A spark. A sign that maybe, just maybe, the Capitol could bleed. And President Snow? He noticed. Oh, he definitely noticed. But let me tell you something surprising. Snow doesn't go straight for revenge. He plays a different game. Psychological warfare. He shows up at Katniss's house, all smiles on the outside, venom underneath. He threatens her family, her best friend Gale, everyone she loves. His message is chilling. Convince the districts your act of rebellion was just a love-struck girl desperate to save her boyfriend. Or else. So Katniss and Peeta are thrown back into the spotlight, forced to perform this romance for the cameras during their victory tour. Imagine that, standing in front of grieving, angry, oppressed people, pretending to be in love while trying not to spark a revolution. But sparks don't care about intentions. They just burn. And as Katniss visits each district, she sees it, anger simmering beneath the surface. People raising the three-finger salute. Murmurs of rebellion. And in District 11, something terrible happens. A man gives a quiet sign of respect and is shot dead on the spot. This is where things get really intense. Katniss starts realizing, this isn't just about her. It's not just a game anymore. Her every move, every word, is being watched, weighed, twisted. And then comes the real gut punch, the announcement of the 75th Hunger Games, the Quarter Quell. The special edition, Snow says. And the twist? The tributes will be drawn from existing victors. Which means Katniss, who's the only female victor from District 12, has to go back into the arena. Can you imagine the betrayal? The heartbreak? After clawing her way out of that nightmare once, she's being thrown back in, this time, with full knowledge of how horrific it can get. And Peeta, of course, volunteers to join her. Because he's Peeta. He always protects her, even when she doesn't want to be protected. And this time, this arena? It's different. Creeper. More deadly. There are spinning sections. Poisonous fog. Mutated monkeys. Tidal waves. A ticking clock of death. But the real game isn't about traps or weapons. It's about trust. That's the trick. Katniss finds herself surrounded by older, battle-hardened victors. Finnick Odair with his unsettling charm, Johanna Mason with her unfiltered rage, and others who seem to know something she doesn't. They're forming alliances, whispering in half-truths. And Peeta? He's trying to keep them alive, like always. Even painting a locket on the beach filled with faces of her family to remind her what she's fighting for. Now here's where it gets really haunting. As they survive each hour, Katniss starts to suspect, this isn't just another Hunger Games. Something else is happening behind the scenes. Some tributes are protecting her. Some are letting themselves get hurt for her. But she didn't ask for this. But maybe that's the point. Maybe she's not just a player anymore. She's the symbol. The Mockingjay. The living, breathing face of resistance. And Snow? He's losing control. The Capitol is cracking. Districts are starting to rise up. And inside the arena, it's not just about survival anymore. It's about breaking the system from within. There's a plan. A bigger one. But Katniss doesn't know all of it yet. She only knows this. She has to keep Peeta alive, even if it means sacrificing herself. Because if he lives, the rebellion has a voice. A heart. A soul people will follow. But what do you think happens when the system starts falling apart from the inside? Just when you think the story's peaking, there's this one moment, absolutely unforgettable. The arena is a clock, literally. Each section unleashes a new horror every hour. But more than the blood and fear, it's the strategy that chills you. These victors, Finnick, BT, Wirus, they're not just fighting. They're plotting. They're risking everything to pull off something bigger than survival. Something revolutionary. And Katniss, even without all the pieces, begins to sense it. The tributes aren't enemies anymore. They're allies. Maybe even soldiers in a war she didn't know had already begun. And that's where the book starts twisting reality. What if this arena, this nightmare, it's just a stage? What if winning was never the goal? You start to feel the shift in her. The way she holds the bow. The way she watches the sky. The way she begins to see herself not as a pawn, but as a player. And just when she finds that inner resolve, when she decides, in the heat of chaos, to fire an arrow at the very heart of the system, something explodes. Literally, everything changes. And that's where I'll pause. So picture this, Katniss, standing there in the middle of the arena, heart pounding, chaos swirling, and she lifts her bow. Not to shoot an enemy, not to defend herself, but to strike the sky. The moment that arrow flies toward the force field, something ancient and powerful cracks open. A symbol of the capital's control, shattered in a burst of light. And just like that, the games end, but not in the way anyone expected. She blacks out. And when she wakes up, everything she thought she knew flips upside down. Now here's the twist that'll make your jaw drop. She wasn't just surviving the arena. She was part of a plan. A plan she didn't even realize she was in. Because some of those tributes? Finnick, BT, even Johanna, they weren't just forming an alliance for protection. They were part of a full-scale rebellion, working with rebels from the outside. And the games? They were never meant to be won. They were meant to be hijacked. And the one person who held it all together without even knowing it was her. Katniss. But wait, it's not a happy ending. Not yet. Because even though she's pulled out of the arena by a secret rebel aircraft, even though she's been rescued by District 13, a place most people believed was long gone, there's one thing missing. Peeta. He didn't make it out. The capital took him. He's a prisoner. And worse, they know how much she cares. This is where the emotional weight really sinks in. Katniss, who spent every second of the games trying to protect him, now realizes he's in the enemy's hands. And she wasn't told. No one warned her. But because her rage, her heartbreak, her authentic grief, they need it. The rebellion needs her anger, her fire, her face. Can you imagine that? Being turned into a symbol of a movement you didn't fully choose, and then realizing maybe they're all just using you too? But here's the unexpected insight that hits hardest. Catching Fire isn't just a sequel. It's a mirror. A brutal reflection of what happens when you take a story about survival and ask, what's the cost of being a symbol? What happens when one girl's pain becomes a nation's hope? Katniss starts the book as someone who just wants to protect her people. But by the end, she's something else. A lightning rod. A spark that's turned into an inferno. Not because she asked for it. Not because she planned it. But because the truth has a way of burning through lies, and she's become the one thing the capital can't control, unpredictable. And it leaves us with this lingering, haunting question. What do you do when you realize that the real enemy was never just the arena, but the world outside it? Catching Fire takes the idea of rebellion and wraps it in raw humanity. Every character, every twist, every loss pulls you deeper into this storm of emotions. Fear, defiance, sacrifice, love. It's not about winning. It's about choosing what you're willing to lose for something bigger. And as the dust settles and Katniss is told the final blow, that District 12, her home, her roots, has been destroyed, it becomes painfully clear there's no going back. No more pretending. No more games. Only war. Feel like you're meant for more, but don't know how to get there? You're not alone. Every success story starts with doubt and a spark. The Self-Made Millionaire, Zero to Wealth isn't just a book. It's your roadmap to purpose, confidence, and success, built on real lessons from real millionaires. One reader said, "It didn't feel like a book. It felt like my future talking to me." Inside, you'll find the exact mindset and principles used by the world's most successful people. No fluff, just real, life-changing wisdom. Ready to take the first step? Get it 100% free. Just subscribe and comment "book" below.